Despite the season being in jeopardy time and time again, after the shortest regular season that we ever had, we have finally reached the World Series, and the 2020 World Series will feature the Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Johnny Talk Sports here to bring you my World Series preview and prediction. And what a World Series we have. I'd say this game is going to go at least 6 or 7 games. 6, maybe 7 games. I can't see this being a sweep or in 5 games on either side. So let's get into what I'm predicting is what the pitching matchups are going to be. For Game 1 on Tuesday night, I anticipate Blake Snell on the mound for the Rays and Clayton Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers. Now, I think the Dodgers have a huge edge with Clayton Kershaw not pitching since Game 4 of the NLCS. And he didn't pitch at all in Game 7. And Urias really stepped up for the Dodgers in Game 7 of the NLCS, giving the Dodgers bullpen some rest heading into the World Series. So I anticipate 2 ace pitchers in Blake Snell and Clayton Kershaw being on the mound. Now for Game 2, I have Charlie Morton on the mound for the Rays. At least that's my prediction. Now for the Dodgers, they could be in a little bit of a pickle deciding who to start for Game 2. Do you go with Walker Buehler, who started Game 6 of the NLCS just on Saturday, and going into Wednesday's Game 2, he would only have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of rest. So 3 days rest. Do they give him the start, or do they go with somebody else? Maybe Urias, or even Gonsolin, Dustin May. I think it depends on how Game 1 goes, honestly, for the Dodgers. I think if the Dodgers were to win Game 1, I think they would give Urias the start. However, if the Dodgers were to lose Game 1, I think they would almost be forcing themselves to start Walker Buehler. Because the Dodgers, I don't think, well, despite them coming back from down 2-0 in the NLCS and down 3-1 in the NLCS, I just don't think that they can afford to go down 2-0 in the World Series against the Rays. I just don't think they're able to afford to do that. So I think that depending on how Game 1 goes, that will dictate who starts Game 2. Now for Game 3, Friday night, I have Ryan Yarbrough on the mound for the Rays, and I'm predicting whoever doesn't start Game 2 between Buehler and Urias is going to get the start in Game 3, which it depends again. Game 4 on Saturday night for the Rays, I'm predicting to be Tyler Glasnow. And for the Dodgers, it's either going to be Gonsolin or Dustin May. Now, Dustin May, in his appearances in the NLCS, he wasn't perfect, but he wasn't bad either. He did get himself out of a jam in that first inning in Game 7, only giving up 1 run. And he did give up a couple of runs in his appearance in Game 5. But I think Dustin May, if he were to start this Game 4, I think maybe he would improve because he is only a rookie. And I think now that he has some experience, I know the stage is much pressure for a rookie, but I think he would improve. I think he would do a lot better now that he has some postseason experience. So I would lean towards Gonsolin being the starter for Game 4, though. I think maybe Dustin May, he may get used in the bullpen. Now for Game 5 on Sunday night, I'm expecting Blake Snell and Clayton Kershaw to be on the mound for Game 5. Could that potentially be an elimination game for someone and potentially a clincher for the other team? I'm not quite sure, but that's what I anticipate Game 5 being. Although the strategy could change if someone's up or down 3-1. Then Game 6 on Tuesday, if necessary. I have Charlie Morton for the Rays and either Walker Buehler or Urias for the Dodgers, which I think it depends on games 2 and 3. And for game 7, if it's necessary, just like games 5 and 6, I would have the Rays having to decide between Yarbrough or Glasnow, and for the Dodgers, I think they would have to decide between Buehler, Urias, or Gonsolin. However, I think the Dodgers, I think they're going to have an edge here with pitching matchups, especially if they were to win game 1 and if they were to decide to start Urias over Buehler in game 2, which I think that's a more realistic possibility, because I just can't see them giving Walker Buehler the start for game 2 of the World Series off of only 3 days rest. So really waiting till Friday, that's a smart thing, because Buehler's going to be on rest from Sunday all the way through Thursday. And that puts you in really the catbird seat. Because worst case scenario is you have the decision to maybe start Buehler in a potential game 6 or a potential game 7. So a key for the series for both these teams. For the Rays, Blake Snell and Charlie Morton, well, all the starting pitchers really, they have to step up. They have to shut down the Dodgers bats. Because every single game, there's a new hero for the Dodgers. One day it's Corey Seager. The next day it's Cody Bellinger. The next game it could be Will Smith or Kiki Hernandez or even Mookie Betts. So that's going to be a huge key for the Rays. Now for the Dodgers, you've got to get to the Rays bullpen early. Especially with having the momentum, having a rested bullpen, especially with how Urias handled the last 3 innings of the NLCS. The way I see this game, I think in 6 games, the World Series champions will be the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I just think that the Dodgers bats, the Dodgers offense is going to get to this Rays pitching staff. I think game 1, I think the Dodgers will win that one. Then they'll be starting Urias in game 2. And I think if the Dodgers were to go up 2-0, I think the Rays would almost be close to out of it. Because then they could potentially have Buehler for game 3 to take a commanding 3-0 lead in the series. But I do think, however, the Rays will respond in game 2. Then game 3, I'm going to go with the Dodgers. I think game 4 is going to go to the Dodgers as well. But in game 5, I think the Rays will keep the series alive. But then in game 6, I think the Dodgers will win this series. And I think the World Series MVP is going to be Cody Bellinger. I think he's going to have a fantastic series. Although it could be anybody on the Dodgers winning the World Series MVP. But I think the offense is going to get to the Rays pitching staff early on in their appearances, which is going to force them to make decisions within the bullpen a lot more quicker than it will take the Dodgers to decide. So Dodgers in 6 is my pick. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts down below, and I will talk to you next time.